It's one of those obscure government offices that you'd maybe never hear of if it wasn't at the center of a political storm. Just what is the Exempt Organizations Division of the IRS, now accused of unfairly scrutinizing conservative groups like the Tea Party? Marcus Owens ran that division for close to a decade.
It's the part of the IRS that focuses on organizations that are otherwise exempt from federal income tax, just the way there is a component that focuses on individuals.
Owens says part of the problem with that division is that it's not even here in Washington. A key office of the division is in Cincinnati. Now, not that being part of the D.C. bureaucratic monolith is a great thing, but Owens says part of the problem with it not being here is that the office isn't always attuned to issues that could become politically charged. Like what's causing the furor now, that this IRS branch allegedly used political search terms while reviewing the application for tax-exempt status for so-called 501c4 groups. Those groups have mushroomed since the 2010 Citizens United decision by the Supreme Court, which allows groups to get that tax-exempt status and raise money as long as their main purpose is not targeting candidates. There are some of these that are deceptive, correct?
There are actually many that are deceptive. The vast majority of 501c4s are indeed legitimate social welfare organizations. But we're talking about now several hundred of these organizations that have just sprung up ever since the Citizens United decision and are primarily involved in elections.
Craig Holman monitors campaign spending for the watchdog group Public Citizen. He says the IRS should scrutinize these groups because many, like the conservative Crossroads GPS and the liberal group Priorities USA, portray themselves as social welfare organizations but spend billions on ads like this.
But President Obama has a plan to help.
But Marcus Owens says the Exempt Organizations Division at the IRS isn't as transparent about scrutinizing those groups as it used to be.
For approximately 25 years leading up to the IRS reorganization in about the year 2000, there were a series of steps, procedural steps in place that were recorded, available for public review, transparency in the common parlance, that permitted the IRS to identify organizations, applications that needed more sophisticated review.
Owens says those so-called tripwires were eliminated in the early 2000s in the name of efficiency when the IRS reorganized. We called and emailed the office of Lois Lerner, who's head of that Exempt Organizations Division, to get response to what Owens said about those safeguards being taken away. We didn't hear back.